Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas countdown calendar and place cards. This video is brought to you by Kynsa and their liquid chalk marker bundle. You get 10 markers and 40 chalkboard labels, and I'm going to have a coupon code in the video description so you can save 10% off of this awesome set. And this is so easy to make and a lot of fun too, so you'll be counting down the days till Christmas in style. So let's go to the table and I'll show you how it's done. The surface I'm painting on today is a piece of old roofing slate, but you can also buy slate at a craft store if you don't know of any old buildings being demolished. But whenever I see an old building being knocked down, I can usually grab an armful of roofing slates and people just give them to you because they're so thankful to get rid of them. Now I freehanded a design on with a chalk pencil, and I thought just some simple jingle bells in the corner with a ribbon would be pretty. To paint the jingle bells, I'm using a combination of yellow, white, and brown acrylic paint, and I'm just kind of dabbing on the colors. Nothing fancy there. I'm painting the ribbon with a flat, about a 1/4 inch wide brush, and the nice thing about using a flat brush is that you can pretty much freehand your ribbon in. It's going to give you a natural look just because of the shape of the brush. Now I'm using solid green for most of the ribbon, and then I'm going to highlight using white, and then I'm going to shadow with a little bit of black and green mixed together. But I would definitely put down the base of your green ribbon first, and then you can kind of mix and blend your shadows and highlights on top. Go ahead and switch to a round brush when you're doing your highlights and shadows if that makes it easier for you to blend and also to get that nice crisp edge on the top of the ribbon so that kind of satin ribbon can catch the light. That's kind of the look we're going for here. The shadows are a mix of black and green, and just kind of put it anywhere you see the ribbon folding over on itself or kind of where it's up next to another object and it may be casting a shadow on it. Like the inside of this bow here, you want that a little bit darker so the kind of knot in the front of the bow and the rounded out bow parts can really stand out. To add a little bit of sparkle and definition, take that round brush and a little bit of white paint and just kind of outline the highlight areas. It's like putting sprinkles on a cupcake. It just really makes it all come together. Using the same green and black mix, paint the holly leaves that are on your design. You want them a little bit darker than the ribbon so they can stand out on top of the ribbon. Then you'll be adding lighter highlights with your white paint. Now paint your red berries with some Christmas red. If you don't like using a brush, you can actually just dip your finger in the paint and stamp them on and you'll have perfect little round berries. But I wanted to keep my fingers clean today, so I'm using a brush. Now, looking at a real jingle bell for reference, I'm adding some bright white highlights on my jingle bells. You can also add brown shadows to the jingle bells as well as reflections of the berries and the green ribbon, or you can always just keep it simple and just do the highlights. Using a small round brush and white paint, add sparkly highlights to the berries. You can do 2 dots in the corner and then a little curve on the bottom, and that will really show the shape of the berries and give you that really round, realistic look. Put on any finishing touches you want to the picture and then set it aside to dry while we work on our place cards. You can make 4 place cards from one piece of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock. Simply cut the cardstock into quarters and fold a quarter in half, then punch the bottom edges to give it a little decorative flair. Then simply stick one of the chalkboard sticker labels onto the folded cardstock. I'm going to put a little slit on each corner of the fold. That way, when I put my ribbon on, it's not going to slip off. I'm using 1/8 of an inch wide, narrow ribbon from the craft store. It's very inexpensive. Tie it in a double knot, and then you're going to string on 3 jingle bells, or whatever you have. You could use beads if you didn't have jingle bells, but I think these look really festive. I'm using gold, red, and green. Then simply tie the ends of the ribbon in a bow and you have a beautiful place card. Now to customize a place card, it's super easy with the chalk markers. Draw on 3 circles for berries with a red marker, then draw on a couple holly leaves with the green. Look how bright and vivid they are. And then simply draw your guest's name on with the white marker. I think it's super fun and easy, and if you prefer a sharper tip, you can actually reverse the nibs and get a chisel edge nib to write with. Isn't that cute? Now let's make the embellishment for our slate chalkboard. I'm going to start by tying together 2 large jingle bells that I picked up at the dollar store. I love how it sounds nice, and if I hang this on my door, it's going to tinkle every time anybody opens or closes it, which I think is just a lovely sound this time of year. Now I'm going to make a triple looped bow using 2 different ribbons. I'm using a printed organza and also a red velvet ribbon. So I've just wrapped it around my bow maker, and the pegs are about 3 inches apart, and then I'm just going to tie it on like that and fluff out the bow loops. Now simply tie the Jingle Bells onto the ribbon and slide a few sprigs of berries into the knot in the back. And that's all you need to do for the embellishment on your slate. I decided to use jute as my hanging wire for this slate because I think it looks really nice with the other Christmas themed items that I have here. Now you'll probably also notice that my slate's a little shiny. I decided to add an exterior sealer to mine. If you decide to do this, make sure it is completely dry before you draw on it with the chalk markers, or just to be safe, only seal over your painted portion and leave the part you're actually going to write on plain. It'll make it much easier to clean off with those markers. They don't really like the painted surfaces so much. I experimented with putting one of the berry sprigs through the holes and attaching it that way, but in the end I decided to duct tape it to the back. That way I can remove it later on if I want to use the slate for something else. I hope you enjoyed this project today. Please check out our sponsor Kynsa and their liquid chalk marker bundle with 10 markers and 40 chalkboard labels. Make sure you check out the link in the video description because I'm also going to have a coupon code there so you can save an extra 10% off of your purchase if you want to buy them. Thanks so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time, happy crafting!